How did you get started in the pool? So I started swimming at a very young age. Just parents put me through swimming lessons. So me and my brother could swim in the rivers in the Victorian high country because we'd often go camping. So we started swimming lessons there and then, so we could do that, and just kept progressing through into the pool to where I am now. Who or what has been your biggest motivation through your swimming career, and why? During my younger years, I never sort of looked up to anyone in the pool. Even to this day, I still don't really follow the swimming. So I think my biggest motivation would have to be the people that surround me, my friends, family. Obviously, my mum and dad's been there since day one, supporting me, waking up early to take me to swimming training before school. So can't thank them enough, and I think it's definitely paid off. What is the most challenging part of being an Olympic level swimmer? I think swimming's a very tough sport. Our race goes for 50 odd seconds and we're training 25 to 30 hours a week in the pool. So I think it's a bit different in that aspect, where we're constantly training for under a minute of success, and to aim for a personal best. And at the Olympic level, you're trying to aim for a medal and get on that medal dais. So it's a lot of work that goes into a short amount of time. What's the most memorable moment from your career? I think making the Olympic Games has to be one of them. But I think the most memorable would have to be last year, 2022, the World Championships in Melbourne. On the last night, it was the 4x1 medley relay. 4 males, different stroke each. I think we weren't hopeful for a medal that night in the relay, but after psyching all the boys up, everyone got up, and we ended up winning the race in a world record time, tying with the US. So standing on that medal dais after our world record, watching the Australian flag being raised as our anthem is being played in our home country, in Melbourne. I had a lot of friends and family in the stands, so yeah, that'll always be very special to me. Describe a day in your life. So normally I'd set my alarm for around 6:20, wake up, have some breakfast, and then head off to training. We normally start training around 7, so that'll involve some skipping, sit-ups, push-ups, just to get warmed up before we get into the pool. We'll probably get into the pool at around 7:30, swim our session, which involves a lot of everything, some longer swimming, short sprints, kick and pull. And we could be finished at around 9:30, so normally a couple hours in the pool. On a day where we have training in the morning and the afternoon, I'll come home, have a second breakfast. Normally both breakfasts of mine involve Weet-Bix or Weet-Bix kit. And then I'll hit the hay, have a snooze to try and prepare for the afternoon session the best I can. Our afternoon sessions are normally a key session for the week, so we want to be our best while swimming then, and then we'll roll down to the pool roughly around 2:30 to begin our activation again, get in the water close to 3, swim for a couple hours, normally finish at 5, and we'll probably all be pretty knackered by then after a tough session. Head back, footy's on, cook some dinner, watch some TV, and then go to sleep and get ready to do it the next day. How many hours a week do you spend in the water? So we do 9 swim sessions a week, and they're close to or roughly 2 hours long. So there's 18 hours in the water. We do 3 gym sessions a week, which can range from hour to, myself, take a bit longer, an hour and a half. Need that extra rest in between the sets. So yeah, you're looking at 21, 22 hours, and then sort of everything that revolves around that. You're getting to training 30 minutes earlier to do your skipping. On the occasion, we'll jump in the ice bath or the spa after training to try and recover for the next session. So there could be another 10 to 30 minutes, and all the extra just mucking around the side of the pool. It just all adds up. So I'm probably spending, could be close to 30 hours in and around the pool, which is a long time. How does your training shift as you approach a major competition? So we would train I'd say over 45 weeks of the year. Very minimal break, because coming back after a break, you just feel so out of whack in the water, and it probably takes a week to sort of get your momentum back, and you just feel really uncoordinated. So it's really hard in that aspect. But coming into a major competition will slightly decrease the load, sort of freshen up, get the mind aware that you're going to race, get the body feeling fresh. So the final 2 weeks will really freshen up. Maybe an average session for myself might be 4 to 5 kilometers. During that last week leading into the major competition, we'll come down to 2Ks, and maybe on that last day just do 1 kilometer float, which just involves 1 kilometer easy swimming, flippers on, do what you like just to feel the water and make sure you're ready to go for racing. Why is hydration so critical for swimmers? Often we'll have hydration tests throughout the year just to see where we're sitting, where we're at, and that'll mostly occur before a big training block, just so we know we're set up. And I think feeling dehydrated, you're just a bit more tired, a bit more fatigued. So I guess you can't be fatigued when you're swimming, so you gotta stay hydrated. It's really hard to find how much you sweat in the water, but every time after a session I'll come home pretty thirsty, as I don't really drink much during training, so I'll come home pretty thirsty. And I think if you're thirsty, it means you're dehydrated. So it's a good thing to be on top of, even for the general person. Being hydrated is very important. What role does diet and nutrition play in your training regime? Yeah, diet's definitely a huge one. Normally I'm pretty good on the diet, I'm pretty strict on myself most of the times. But I think mainly after those key sessions, knowing how many carbs, how much protein to refuel yourself with. So on my fridge inside, I have a A4 bit of paper. It says a fistful of potato is so many carbs, the size of fish, the size of chicken is so much protein, which I think definitely helps me. Sometimes I struggle a bit in the kitchen, but I love having a crack. How do you incorporate PREPD into your routine? Every key session after swimming, I'll have their protein powder in a shaker with water, just to recover, get recovery in right there and then. Being hydrated, I've been waking up really well. So I used PREPD during a hard training block, which involves 3 weeks, and it could have been nearly one of the hardest training blocks I've done. And to have PREPD protein powder and then using Prime the night before, I've woken up noticeably different to go into swimming the next morning. And I even tested this out 1 week on, 1 week off, and that second week further into the training block, I really noticed a difference in waking up. So I push myself to have it every night, and protein after every training session to recover and have another crack in the pool. With your recent achievements, what's next for you in the world of competitive swimming? For the rest of this year, there's sort of no major international competitions, which sort of leaves us to 2024, which is the year of the Olympic Games. So I think the next big target meet I'm aiming for would be the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Lastly, for budding swimmers or athletes watching this, do you have any advice on how to stay on top of their game, both physically and mentally? I think physically you have to be pretty driven and determined to push yourself as hard as you can. I know I've done that the past however many years, and it's definitely hard work, but when you can see the results, it's definitely paying off. And mentally, I believe in a strong sport-work-life balance. So once I leave that pool, I don't think about swimming, don't talk about swimming, which is really good, and I'm able to turn off, switch off. So when I walk back into the pool, I know I'm there to swim. I know I'm there to try my hardest in the water, get the best out of myself, and fingers crossed, in 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, when that next major international competition is, I'll be ready to go.